See this episode's show notes for our unique promo code to get up to 2 months of free podcasting service with Libsyn when you sign up for a new account. Get your show on Apple and Spotify, get helpful stats, and all the support you need to sound your very best.
This is Jed MacKay, and you're listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Yes, welcome back, loony listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 328, and you are with both your high priests of Khonshu, Rebecca and Ray. Rebecca, welcome back.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. I'm laughing because I happen to have Twitter open, so I know what you've called this episode. And it's a good title.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's why you caught me laughing. I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty fun.
Keeping it simple. Yeah, you know, and especially with such a big guest in the comics, I couldn't resist. But anyway,
yes.
What Rebecca is alluding to, of course, is that we've got another Moonshine issue. So we'll be looking at, this is live stream because it is a new issue to date, Moon 9, Volume 9, Issue 23, Panic Room, by, of course, Jed MacKay, Alessandro Cappuccio, Rachelle Rosenberg, the super team. Before any of that, Rebecca, how things been? Good? You've been stocking up on August comics?
Yeah, I've just been putting in my orders, but they didn't have one of the ones we're going to talk about in a second up on the website yet. So I've still got a little bit of additional buying to do, but I was starting to get it in. But I don't think we've seen a full page of solicits for it yet. So I did a quick search for August solicits and I couldn't find them. So maybe I missed them. I'll have another look later.
They've got to be around there somewhere. They're probably under the couch or something, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Where you least expect them.
Aussie fully at them.
We have so much news. It's quite exciting.
So much.
Just bursting at the seams. Before any of that, of course, a huge thank you to all our patronies and our principal sponsors, Odin Sword, Franklin Think Tank, Mario Di Giacomo, Drew Toombs, Daniel Doing, CLZ Comics, and Dreamland Comics from Schoenberg, Illinois. So, Rebecca, let's jump straight into it. White Noise, oh my gosh, it's been pretty sparse lately. So, any...
Yeah, it's all jumped out at us now. We have everything. Everyone save up for August is all I'm saying.
Oh my gosh.
Especially if you like variants.
Absolutely. Save your pennies. We've been contacting creators. It's all happening. It's all a buzz again. I'm just going to pull this up on our slides. The first bit of news, we've got a fair bit of comic news. First bit of news, we spoke to a friend of the show, Erica Schultz, has returned to Moon Knight. Those of you will know she wrote a fantastic short story in the anthology Black, White, and Blood. So Erica returns for What If Dark Moon Knight, number 1. Art by Edgar Salazar and cover by him as well. And it's on sale, as Rebecca mentions, in August. August 16th. Mid-August, yep.
Yeah, so... pay attention to the dates because there's a lot. Oh no, the other ones are July. That's why. So this is an ahead.
Oh, okay. So this one's a bit ahead. Yeah. We're going to kind of work backwards then. The solicits say, "What if Moon Knight did not say?" Oh, sorry. Let me start again. What if Moon Knight did not survive his battle with Bushman? When Khonshu's avatar is slain, a different god empowers their own surprising new champion. From the darkness emerges a new force to light the way, Luminary. But will her quest for revenge, what's going on, against Moon Knight's killer result in her own downfall? Find out in What If Dark Moon Knight. Rebecca, so exciting stuff here. I mean, the art looks really cool as well.
Yeah, no, I think I'm more excited for the comic than I am by the solicit text because for a character like Moon Knight, saying what if he didn't survive is a little bit like, well, he just gets resurrected.
Yeah.
I mean, so I kind of wish they'd found a better way of writing it, but what if he didn't get resurrected or something like that? But whatever. It's comics, it's solicits, it doesn't really matter. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Yeah, I guess it's a It's a one-off. Actually, it implies, Rebecca, there may be a whole series of other what ifs. I mean, they're kind of semi-popular, aren't they?
They are bunging out a bunch of more what ifs.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So that's
I noticed when I was trying to find it, there's quite a lot, but most of them are sort of Spider-Man related.
Oh yeah, I was about to ask, anything pique your interest? Like any other? No.
I was doing it very quickly and very tired last night before I started looking for these other Moon Knight comics. So.
No worries. Well, it doesn't end there, of course. We
Yep.
also have Rebecca. You reminded me of this just before we started. Yes, of course. City of the Dead, Moon Knight. So this is out in July,
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, it is out on the 19th of July.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it will be picking up from Moon Knight 25, which we'll talk about in a second.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what I'm sure we've talked about it before, but if we haven't, it's the
No,
debut of the Scarlet Scarab.
that's right.
When a young runaway is attacked by a gang of death cultists, he is left barely alive outside the midnight mission. But Mark Spector made a vow long ago to defend the travelers of the night. As long as spark of life remains, his mission isn't over yet. Follow Moon Knight on his most harrowing adventure yet as the Fist of Khonshu journeys far beyond the land of the living and battles across the mind-bending underworld known as the City of the Dead. Is David Pepose and the artist is Marcelo Ferreira.
Awesome stuff. Just wondering, Rebecca, what do you reckon? I'm trying to get, under the, I don't know what they say, behind the eyes or in the head of the editors at Marvel and stuff. Like, what do you put this down to? Like this burst of Moon Knight activity all of a sudden. I mean, there's no.
I mean, I think we've talked about it a few times. Is that it's clearly being very successful because it's the main run is carrying on, which is so unusual for most comics at Marvel. Super unusual for a character who's not necessarily as A tier as the others. Shall I be nice about it? Like obviously he had the Marvel show, but then so have others, and they've not seen. There's no Hawkeye ongoing.
And he's,
For either Kate or Clint. Miss Marvel off and on. I don't really know, but I don't think there's an ongoing at the moment. So it's not. I think it's everything's kind, and obviously Black, White, and Red did well. Black, White, and Blood did well. So I think they're just and people, lots of, I mean, comic writers and artists have always listed Moon Knight as one of the characters they like playing around with because he's quite different. And I guess for the artists, you're dealing with whites. And because I guess you can go supernatural, you can go street level, you can go Egypt, you can I don't know, but I mean, I think the City of the Dead one is specifically to get Layla into the comics as the new Scarlet Scarab, in a way that makes sense because it apparently will be coming after 25. But I think we all agree we like the character in the TV show. I think most people liked it. Some with reservations, some without. But I certainly think it, characters like Scarlet Scarab in the comics are kind of due an updating, and this seems too good a kind of the way they did it in the show worked, and it's going to be interesting to see how they fit it in, because obviously it can't be like it was in the show. She's not going to suddenly be married to Mark. So we'll see, but I'm looking forward to it. It's like I've liked I've liked David Pose's other comics that I've read. So I'm looking forward to it. And while we're talking about the million of covers, so there are,
oh gosh, there are, aren't they?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 covers.
Okay, and
the main one, an Alex Maleev one with Layla on the front. It says artist variant, whatever. A Scotty Young one and a Pepe Larraz foil variant.
Oh, well, nice.
So very
Gimmicky. Love it.
None of those are. They're all the free to buy ones. I don't know.
Oh, the Rachelle ones. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's good to see. It'll be good to see Layla in there. I guess I just underestimate how successful, and I'm not complaining by any means, but just how successful Moon Knight is going, and full credit to Jed MacKay and the whole team, Alessandro,
Yeah,
Cappuccio, and
yeah.
Rosenberg. If that's the case, I mean, maybe the appointment of MacKay to Avengers is kind of like a bit of a window into how well he's going at Marvel, and i.e. how well Moon Knight and Doctor Strange is going. So perhaps that kind of
I
explains.
mean, that could also. I mean, why do I always come up with these like terrible rumors while we're talking? There could also be an element of like testing in other teams.
Yeah. Yes. Could be.
If Jed feels he's run out of Moon Knight stories, no, I'm not. No one would get rid of him.
No.
Like, but if he felt that
I mean,
he had nothing else,
but I mean, let's face.
I don't think that will happen. I think Jed will carry on, and we'll get
I
additional comics. So like it's just about. But this would be the way to do it, right? Give them
yes.
minis, see if they do well.
Yep.
Give them one-offs, see if they do well.
I hope, of course, I hope we have Jed and the whole team for for yonks. But
Yeah, me
there
too.
is something to that, Rebecca, as well. I mean, at the
Yeah.
by the same token, Jed is taking on a lot of projects. So I would rather just this is just me, my selfish thing. I'd rather see him focus on a manageable amount, and I don't know, maybe this is still a hugely manageable amount for Jed. I'm not a writer.
Right, exactly. We don't know. It
Yeah.
may be that he's like, oh, I might go to 50 and take a break, and
Mm,
they're testing people now. So I'm
yeah.
not saying, oh, I think he'll be
Yeah.
gone. Because I actually don't, but I do
Mm.
think that it's nice to sometimes see who else
Yep.
fits and what kind of reception they
Yeah.
get and things like that.
I think 50 would be a fantastic milestone. I mean, the way that they kind of celebrated, the likes of Al Ewing's Immortal Hulk's 50th, and more recently Kelly
Yeah,
Thompson's
right.
50th, at Captain Marvel. It is quite a milestone.
But if you think, I
Yeah.
mean, like that, so they're the comics we're now even talking about Moon Knight
Yes,
in the
it's
same
crazy. It's crazy.
conversation as.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so David Proposer. I mean, I'm a huge fan ever since his Spencer and Locke days. His creator owned stuff over at Action Labs. He's been doing stuff for Savage Avengers, Fantastic Four, I believe as well.
Did a really nice Iron Man and
Iron
Cap.
Man and Cap yeah. So he's a great
He knows how to get on our side.
I'd love to chat with David Proposer, and Rebecca. You've reached out to him, and he's quite receptive. So we definitely should make that happen.
Jokingly at 3 in the
Uh,
morning, and he said yes. So hopefully we'll get to speak to him once the comic's out.
Yes, and just to let you know, Loonies, as well. Yeah, as Rebecca said, there are so many variants to this, and to our next one. Issue 25, which is a big announcement too. When we spotlight these issues themselves, we'll go through the variants, but
Yeah,
just
yeah.
on screen you can now just see the regular covers. But yeah, Rebecca, this 25th is a huge one, $9.99, right? US.
Yeah, I think
Mm.
I think so because it's coming up as approximately that for the UK.
Yep.
So there's like seven variants on Forbidden Planet
Yep.
that can be bought straight away, including a Frank Miller one and an Art Germ one,
Mm-hmm.
Gary Frank, Steve
Oh, nice.
McNiven.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we've put some of them on. They've been up on the website,
Yeah,
but it's a big issue.
it is.
Jed and Alessandro Vitti and Alessandro Cappuccio
Mhm.
are doing the main story. Moon Knight's past and present collide, leading into his first event series. Yeah, which is City of the Dead.
Yes.
And so the last mission of the Karnak Cowboys, a mercenary crew that includes Mark, Jean-Paul, Duchamp,
Jean-Paul. Yes.
Jean-Paul, Robert Plesko, and Layla.
Oh, Plesko. Okay. Yes, great. I
Yeah.
mean, we all know about him if you've been reading, obviously, the current
Oh,
run.
that's right. They're going to hunt for answers in the graves of Heart Island, which I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah, Rebecca. There you go.
is named for me.
Yes,
I'm
it
sure
has
it
to
is.
be.
Like whether it is or not, it is now. Um, whatever.
Yeah.
But then it says, plus a classic Moon Knight story
Yeah.
from the past by Doug Mention, Bill Sienkiewicz. So, like, I assume that's just, this is what we were talking about just before we started recording. I assume that's just a reprint. Well, I mean, it is going to be a reprint. We have no idea which.
Yeah. Oh, it is. So it is. Okay. Yeah, you're right. It's true. I mean, because it's not unheard of to, not to say that this is it, but for inviting the classic teams back.
Yeah.
Didn't Bill
I
Sienkiewicz?
mean, I guess.
Yeah, didn't he do a cover as well? Oh, he's done some varying
Oh, he's
covers.
done
Yeah,
some
yeah.
covers. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Black, White, and Blood, of course. He's done that one, the first one as
Yeah.
well. So, um,
I guess they could.
could,
I mean,
yeah.
Doug Mention's 75,
Yeah,
but it's not unheard of.
exactly.
I mean, fingers crossed, that would be amazing,
Oh,
right?
that'd be great.
I mean, that would make it worth the. I mean, I'm not saying it's not worth the $10 anyway.
Mm,
I'm just saying that if it's a reprint, I would feel a little
that's
bit
true. Yeah,
like I would rather pay less and have a smaller comic.
yeah.
But if it's a new story by them, that would be amazing.
It's got to be a.
So it does say a classic classic Moon Knight story from the past, though. It sounds like it's just
Okay, yeah, for
I don't know.
sure.
We'll see. We'll
It,
see.
it could be also hopefully a 32 pager, maybe 40 pager from Jed and Alessandro.
I think it's a long comic
Yep,
generally. I
yep.
don't remember where I've seen it
Okay.
because I think it'll be on our website.
Yep.
Because on Forbidden Planet they don't say how many pages it is,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, yes, for sure. Loonies, we all know that you love Moon Knight, so pre-order this thing, get it in there. I've got to.
Like I just did.
Sorry.
Like I just did. Because
Hi.
I just that's exactly what I was just doing, ordering
Yes.
that was my point.
Yeah. I've probably got it already in my pull list, but I've just got to give some thought as to the variants. You know, whether I get one in particular or just get the regular.
I was gonna get the negative
Oh.
negative color one.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I still might.
Yeah.
But currently I just went for the slightly cheaper option of not getting the. So the way that Forbidden Planet works is if you buy the A cover, you get 10% off.
Ooh.
You know, you can subscribe to the A cover, but you can't subscribe to the variants.
Right.
So you have to pay full price for the variants.
Sorry, I've got it. It's right there at the back. Very hard to get. Anyway.
I hate that.
Yeah. So plenty of comic book news there, Loonies. It's been bandied about in our social media
Oh,
platforms.
it's 92 pages.
92. Holy smoke!
That including the classic
Yeah.
story. So
even
big.
if that's
definitely
even the classic story, if that's 22, 23 pages, that's still
hefty. It's a big comic.
Yes.
Unless that's a typo, but that's what it says. So.
Oh, better not be 39 pages, Rebecca. It'll be ropeable. Absolutely ropeable.
I know, we'll go and argue.
So great stuff. Any other, I guess, bits of news on comics, Rebecca? I've only got one other thing.
No, that's everything from me.
I thought this was a nice little play on words. So a big thank you to Orion or Opie from Discord. Posted this up in our Discord channel as well. So what we have, Susu Toys are releasing the Gentle Moon as opposed to Gentleman. I actually read it as Gentleman first, but
yes,
yeah, it looks awesome. It's a 1-to-6 figure of Mr. Knight, and we're talking about like Hot Toys level quality and detail. So this retails, I've got for a hefty about $230 US. It's got LED lights to light up the eyes. And
really cool.
yeah, it just looks really awesome. It's got a lot of accessories too. And again, might do a spotlight. So I'm not going to go right into all the details, but it's a good looking figure. It looks almost like a photo, Rebecca.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Just so for those that recall,
how much is it? Like, did we
$230 US? So that's pretty. I know.
Okay, I'm too impoverished right now.
I
said no. I was saving up for my holiday.
Yes. Estimated time. So pre-orders now, but estimated delivery between August and October this year. But yes, it is for a hefty sum. Look, it looks very, very similar to
it's gorgeous,
Oscar Isaac. So for those that can see, you can jump on our YouTube channel and have a look at some of these slides. But again, just some really nice Moon Knight or Mr. Knight looking figures there. So yeah, that pretty much wraps our white noise segment. We just have a comment come in here, Rebecca.
Yeah, it's from John Marsden. I just went to check.
Excellent. So thank you, John. John's jumped in. He says, I'm beyond excited for the next issue of the current run. Morpheus is and always will be my favorite Moon Knight rogue. He literally is what happens when you have kids. Yes, absolutely. And yes, we'll get to that, of course, John, with the little preview of 24 at the very end. But you're right, absolutely, Morpheus. Can't wait to. Rebecca, shall we head into a bit of
Let's do
moonshiny thingy? All right, loonies, you know the drill. This is, let me just put it all. This is all about Moon Knight, Volume 9, Issue 23, Panic Room. So release date May 3rd, 2023, cover date July 2023. Writer Jed MacKay, penciler and inker Alessandro Cappuccio, colorist Rachelle Rosenberg, letterer VC Cory's Petit, and editor Tom Brevoort. You can get this, of course, in floppy format or digital. There was some shenanigans happening, Rebecca. I think now the Marvel digital app is closed, and I think everything's now through Marvel Unlimited. So you can,
apparently, if you've got Marvel Unlimited, you can get access to the comics you bought. I don't know if you can still. I don't know what happens.
I don't know.
Oh, that you bought through Comixologies, and you can still buy single issues there. So.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a migration thing with all your. Hopefully, you don't lose anything. I haven't checked in ages, but hopefully, I haven't lost anything as well. A huge library of digital stuff. Anyway, if you have not been here before, Rebecca and I will go through a bare bones. And then we'll go through our overall impressions, some key moments and some notes here and there, just peppered around this issue. So we want to kick it off with a bare bones so you kind of get an idea of what this story is about in case you have, in case you just need a bit of a...
so you're reminded what it was about.
And
a few days since you read it. And...
Exactly. And Rebecca, we never say this, but we should really... Spoilers, everybody. So...
I kind of assume that people will know that we're going to talk about everything that happened. Not in detail, because we don't, but you know.
Before we get into the bare bones, Rebecca, and of course, you are the unwilling subject for or narrator for that. Just a few covers here wanted to show. So as you can see on screen, the regular cover there by Steven Segovia and Rachelle Rosenberg. Venom is at the top now. Venom and Moon Knight. So he gets top billing as well. Also, we have another cover here, variant cover, Renaud variant. Looks really nice, very ghostly, very white. I think we may have covered this earlier on when solicitations came out.
Yeah, when we first saw them,
Because it does ring a bell. And Declan Shalvey's Spider-Verse variant cover. Looking pretty cool there. Mishmash of Spider-Man, Moon Knight. And there's another one here. I don't think we've covered this one. Stormbreaker's variant. No. So Stormbreaker's up and coming artist and or writers.
Well, just the artists they've decided to feature that year. They're not always up and coming, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, just or new to Marvel at least. Is that correct?
Maybe. Yeah.
So this is a variant by Jan Bazaldua. Apologies there. That's three goes, 3 strikes. I'm probably out. I know, Rebecca, it's a beautiful cover. I know your thoughts on titular.
I think it's. I mean, it's all right. Yeah, it's Guardians.
Yes, exactly.
And Ant-Man and.
Yes.
Is that Ant-Man?
Oh, who knows? There's some. Yes. So. Yeah, so we're gonna get into the comic here, Rebecca. Would you be so kind as to let the loonies?
Yes. The bare bones. Dylan Brock visits the Midnight Mission, seeking aid and protection from a cadre of supervillain mercenaries who are after him. Moon Knight's happy to comply, and with the help of the mission, both the Fist of Vengeance and the alien symbiote, Venom, able to incapacitate the likes of Eel, Thermite, Tangle and Blitz, aka the new enforcers. After their defeat, it comes to Moon Knight's attention that Venom has sensed the sinister sound waves permeating through the city. Like a bloodhound, Moon Knight utilizes Venom's sensitivity to sound in order to track down the source of the villain Moon Knight has been seeking, Sarnak. In his lair, after beating up his minions, Moon Knight finds Sarnak in a panic room, safe from Moon Knight, safe from vengeance. Sarnak is duly arrested and escapes Moon Knight clutches, content within a jail cell. Yes, he shops himself into the police.
Yeah, he does. It was, again, subversion of expectation there towards the end. A big showdown, or at least getting one step closer for Moon Knight to capture Sarnak. So very interesting issue. Of course, larger-than-life Venom is featured on it. So, Rebecca, overall impressions after putting this down and stepping away, what did you make of it?
I liked it more once we got through the halfway point.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a perfectly serviceable, unexciting comic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I liked it,
Mhm.
and I liked it a lot more than I thought I would for a team up. And I think it does kind of the same as the Miss Marvel team up did, in that they both get a bit of a spotlight nicely. I like the idea of Dylan going to Moon Knight, of Eddie telling him that Moon Knight can be trusted. They're all things I liked. And I thought it was very smart to use Venom for the sound stuff to find Sarnak. But I have to say, I kind of ended it with a bit of a, okay.
Yep.
Like, I could have done with another couple of pages or something.
Yeah, I can't help but feel very similar vibes as well. I've got just one of the little notes I got in here as well. I think it was a bit of a missed opportunity to use such a big cameo appearance, a cameo appearance from such a big figure like Venom, and I don't mean just
I mean,
literally.
maybe unless he's going to come back in some big finale where they're going to fight, come to terms with it. Because in that case, we'd all been like, well, how does he know him?
Yeah.
So again, it was almost like a nice bit of a breather, but it did push along the investigation a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was a breather, and it was great to see obviously Moon Knight again after the Tigra issue before, which was fantastic.
Oh, that was so cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I gave that a 10. Yeah, okay. It was always going to be a bit of a letdown after that.
I mean, look, for me, the thing that really does prop up this issue is the art. I mean, I think I saw on Twitter Alessandro going, "Thank you, Jed, for allowing me to fanboy over one of my favorite characters," and so he got to draw one of his favorite characters, Venom.
Right.
And you can see it. I mean, he just loves it.
I mean, but it does make sense because, like, we do know that Venom has that sound sensitivity,
Yes.
and I think because it's not Eddie anymore, like, because Venom's with Dylan, there is a sense that he might need help.
Yeah.
Is that when Mark's saying you should be able to take these guys out? Like, Venom can take these guys out. You shouldn't need to come to me.
Yeah.
And you're kind of reminded that it's a kid in there, and that and it's kind of, I think it is a nice way for some of these street level characters to meet up.
Yep.
But it's not just Mark helping him, like he then gets to be useful to Mark. So we are moving along that storyline slowly.
Yeah.
I think it's probably an issue I'll appreciate more the more I kind of settle with it and read it. I think it was just, reading it quite quickly, knowing we've got the podcast coming up. And I was kind of like, and going in with this expectation that, well, it'll just be a one-off team up. But I actually do like the fact that those things, that just some of the little touches, the art is great. And like, if it's literally, even if it's only been done because Cappuccio really wanted to draw Venom, that's fine. I'm all in for writers, like, granting those wishes, because I think the story works as well.
Yeah,
And that's because they're using Sarnak.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. There are points in there that Jed has placed in, like obviously that connection between Venom and sound, and then Sarnak, and then using Venom in there. I'd absolutely appreciate that. I just still can't. I mean, I realize this is Dylan Brock, not Eddie Brock as well. It just, I don't know. I feel like that it missed that chance to. I mean, there are a couple of big fight scenes here. One against the new enforcers, and two when they break into Sarnak's kind of factory or whatever it is, or hideout.
Yeah.
And
I thought there was a couple of interesting things there, like, you know, why didn't Mark let the Midnight Mission just go for it with them?
I really enjoyed the Midnight Mission stuff more than actually seeing Venom in action, because Venom's in action was more, again, generic. Look, again, it's not for me to say what or how Venom should be played out, but like Venom with a symbiote, and he's in a fight, you really want to see, his big mouth, his tongue, the teeth. You want to see the symbiote doing weird stuff. You want to see Gooey sort of stuff. He just kind of ran through them like a
You love the word.
he just kind of ran through them, and there was no real, I think, attention paid towards what can be a really fun fight with Venom. Moon Knight as well as having Moon Knight there. Granted, also as well that Venom has appeared and referenced. Moon Knight does talk about having teamed up before or met Venom back in the Benson run, which I think is a 2008 run. Granted, back then, he wasn't exploited as much, Venom, back then as well. But I just feel that it's kind of the writing's on the wall there. Why not have fun with such a, I mean, crazy character. We've seen it in the Sony movie as well, just how crazy Venom is. Kooky, in that sense.
Yeah.
So anyway, but also as well with Jed, I love the deep dive cuts. The new enforcers, I've had to go and check that out as well. I like Thermite. Thermite is
really interesting.
Japanese mercenary. He's one of his sides of his body can produce heat, and the left hand or the other side produces cold. I thought that's pretty interesting. You got Tangle. Blitz is just super strong and agile, I understand. These are all enforcers, so they're all Spider-Man villains as well. They all track.
Yeah, which makes sense with Venom.
So they all track back to the 90s web of Spider-Man. And Eel as well. I mean, Eel is the more highly profiled one, if you can call it that, because I just know he's got a Hasbro Legends figure out of all the things. So it was fun to see, the enforcers. But yeah, I really wanted more from the Midnight Mission. I thought, oh, here we go. Like, I think, who was it that turns around? I think it's Tangle or Blitz turns around and goes, how come the door's all the way over there? And you start getting this sense of like vertigo and things being warped. So I enjoyed that. But as I said, look, we've got a screenshot here of after the fight, and just great stuff from Cappuccio. Moon Knight looking a bit bloodied. I mean, after all, he's only human as well. Nothing too overboard there. But I mean, apart from that, Rebecca, you did mention about this kind of thing with Eddie Brock and Mark Spector, how Eddie's told Dylan that he can get him out.
I like that. You know, it would have been quite funny almost if if Mark had gone to look for Venom to use that sound sensitivity and to found out it was a kid now. But I appreciate that this one, like Eddie did say, trust him. I also like when they're talking, like when they're walking and talking together just after he's told the new enforcers that Dylan's under his protection. So like really quite early on. And Dylan's talking about that page. So Dylan's talking about what these people that are after him and his dad dying and then being struck in needles. And I thought it was really interesting that we flash back to Mark's dad dying and Mark being stuck with needles.
Yes, that was a point I did pick up on. I wanted it. You great call out there,
and
Rebecca.
It's in totally different coloring.
It's
like it's I don't think coloring we've ever seen Rachelle do before.
Yeah, look, very sepia.
It's like very sort of it's as if it's sepia
Yeah.
in amongst these very vibrant ones. So I thought that was really clever. So you're getting those kind of, and Mark says he knows what it's like to, people not trust him, people think he's,
Yes.
out of control and stuff like that. So yeah,
That was a
but yeah, the fight's pretty
that
good.
was a really cool parallel. I just want to back to those things because when I first looked at it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Dylan's talking about since my dad died, I was kind of like, huh, that doesn't.
I was
Yeah,
confused at first, and I was like, Eddie Brock's not
yeah. So
Jewish.
that doesn't ring a.
And
Yeah.
then and then I was like, and then you see the one with the needle. It's like
Yes.
it's clearly
It's clearly
Mark, or it's
Mark.
clearly how
Yeah.
like as Alessandro draws him. So,
Yeah. So very,
um,
very clever. And I like the way that played out, like visually. I think that was really good.
yeah, it was a really clever page.
Yeah. Also as well, with that, the talk discussion between. I'm just going to jump right to the end. There's that thing about oh, there's so many good places out. Sorry, I hope you don't get don't get whiplash.
Yeah.
The thing at the very end, Dylan says, because he goes, "Hey, you are like my dad, Mr. Knight. He also wanted to be better, but I like the ending. Like, but be careful. That's what got him killed." So there's this.
Yeah, that's a kind of interesting
Yeah.
thing to leave you with.
It's kind of like it plays into that whole nihilism component of Moon Knight, Mr. Knight, and how anything he does, even though it's kind of well intentioned, it all goes up, up in smoke, and potentially can harm him as well. So I loved how Dylan called that out too. I mean, again, more of the great art here. What did you think of the final, the panic room, like the scenario at the end, Rebecca?
Again, it felt it jolted me a little bit. I liked it because I always like when villains do something unexpected. Then you get them rushing through to find Sarnak, and he's like, "No, it's all right. I'm in a panic room. You can't get me." Yeah, and neither can Venom. And then, but he starts talking about his plan, so we know who he's working for someone. Mark does the good old Captain America, I've got all night.
That's it.
And
there's a nice shot here of both of them in profile.
It's really pretty.
Yeah, just in the middle,
that's really nice.
where you're kind of looking in section through the doorway.
The lighting on them both is very nicely done throughout. They have slightly different lights on them.
Yeah, and they kind of look similar. It's very similar. Hooded, they've got a mask on. I thought this setup here again. Apologies, listeners, if you are just listening and not looking at the video. But this setup here, you know how comics always do it. They always set up for a big splash page next, and this last bit of Mark going, his eyes are wide, and there's someone saying, "I'm afraid not, Moon Knight." You're absolutely expecting a big reveal on the next page.
Yeah, and it's like, no, he's hiding in a
panic room with a little window, and it's like,
and I like it comes back to some of the things we in some of the earlier bits of the run where we're like, it's Jed taking what we expect to happen and just going, nah, this guy's thought about it. He would rather be in prison, than be interrogated by Moon Knight, and I agree. But I really like the reference to Devil's Reign.
Yes.
When he's like, "Oh, you think you're safe in prison?"
Yeah, because
ask Mountain Marco what happened.
Yeah, because when you see him, because he won't be seeing you.
He won't be seeing you. And I like it when Moon Knight can reference his violence and crimes like that. But then, when he said, this page, when he goes to be continued, Sarnak to be continued, I honestly thought that there was going to be a little box in the corner just saying to be continued, and that would be
it. Me too.
Yeah. And I thought that was just really funny. And then no, there was the goodbye.
There's a little bit of a wrap up, bit of an epilogue.
Just a little goodbye.
With the Midnight Mission eyes there, Rebecca. There,
watching everything.
Looking almost.
They're going, I could have eaten. And no, you took it away from me.
Almost like Thomas the train there, the big eyes.
Yeah, he's like, I'm so tired. Looks like Ozzy when he wants breakfast. Feed me.
The more I look at it, the more I see just like cartoon eyes. It's funny, but just a nice little ending there. It was quite abrupt because I felt like you, Rebecca. That ending's like, oh, okay, we've been subverted again. But yeah, it's just kind of really. I don't know, maybe that's the type of character Sarnak is. It's just like, well,
I think we're getting this real slow burn
It is
to
a slow
what
burn.
is going on with Sarnak and like who is behind it and
Yeah.
who's telling him to do these things. And I'm expecting it's going to be very exciting when we find
Yeah.
out.
Oh no,
So
it certainly will. So yeah, I mean,
nothing at all to do with the next cover.
no. So yeah, exactly. As John mentioned a bit earlier on in the live comments as well, without a doubt, that is Morpheus. It has to be. Because I don't follow the solicits that regularly, Rebecca. So they probably did say
I
something.
forget
Yeah,
them. I
yeah,
like read them at the time and then just literally forget
yeah.
them.
It's pretty. You can see the ebon energy.
So I look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, he's coming
Yeah,
back.
you can see the black coming out of like the
Yeah.
little signature kind of energy. What do you call it? Emission from him. And Moon Knight looking a little different there. I can see a signature, and again, it's probably all in the solicits, but yeah, so not really much by way of, I think, in this issue, Rebecca, it was pretty straightforward. I mean, you could pretty much
Yeah, I
plot
don't think
A
there's a
to
lot.
B
I
to
mean,
C what happened in
yeah.
the story, but it was still entertaining. And like I said, I think a lot of the thumbs up for me. Of course, I love Jed MacKay's writing, but it was really propped up well by Alessandro's beautiful art. So, Rebecca, what out of this, out of 10, you know, dribbling
I
gooeys?
gave it a 7.
7. Solid around a boy, and
Yeah.
similar for me as well. A big 7 there. It was enjoyable. It just flew by. But I will have to go back and just savor the artwork. It's just really brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Um,
really well done.
yeah, and that's with Moon Knight and Venom as well being essentially black and white. I thought it was a nice little playoff between them and the new enforcers, who were really colourful, like really
Really
a
colourful,
harlequin
yeah.
kind of, colourful. So yeah, great stuff again from Rachelle Rosenberg, as always.
Apparently, I ordered the variant
Oh,
for Moon Knight 24. Who knew?
oh, oh, lovely.
I don't often do that, so yeah.
Must be pretty good. You gotta go check it out.
It's Mark Bagley
Ooh,
Ultimate Last Look.
nice.
I don't know. I mean, I like that one, but
Yeah.
I think this one's nicer, I guess.
Yeah, it looks very nice. This one, again, the colors just. We do have just one bit of feedback from a valued loony Mario Di Giacomo, and this is from our Facebook group. And Mario says, "As a child of the 80s, 90s, I never really cared for Venom, so I must confess that I approached this issue with a certain amount of trepidation. Would Jed's desire to sate Alessandro's love for the character lead to a lesser quality issue? I'm happy to say that this was not the case. Moon Knight 23 fits neatly into the mystery that Jed had slowly been building over the course of the arc, offering some nice character bits, excellent action, and even a hint of stories to come, with the first mention of the Karnak Cowboys. Oh, was that mentioned in there as well, Rebecca?
Yeah, it was,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, I missed that, but uh, Mario's picked up on the same thing. Rebecca, slow burn and all. If I had any real quibble with the issue, it would be that the ending is rather anticlimactic, as Sarnak turns himself in rather than face Mark's not so tender ministrations. It was a bit jarring. Rebecca, there you go. Although completely reasonable from an in-world perspective. Yes, totally agreed.
Yeah.
Cappuccio's art was, as always, on point, and Rosenberg's colours provided ample support. I think more than ample. I almost never have issues on that front. The ending still bugs me though, so I can't give it more than 8 out of 10. That's a good score though, Mario. And now I have to wait another month for Morpheus to return and tie it all together. I've no idea where the story is going, but I still wonder about the late Dr. Plesko. That's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
exploded in a building, right? That was
So I wonder if that was just a hint of what's to come with the Karnak Cowboys.
what?
Like if he's one of them. So like just to remind us that Plesko has this tie.
Yes.
And he actually is dead. But I'm fully up for him not really being dead and him still
Yes.
being in charge of this whole operation as well. But I now knowing that he's coming back in the past, so to speak, makes me think there's a possibility that he could. That's the first thing that's made me think he might be dead.
Right. Oh, Let me just get rid of that. Oh, yep. Hey. Yeah. What could you? Sorry, Rebecca. You might have to explain to me the Karnak Cowboys. What is happening there?
I don't know. I
Okay.
mean, like, they're referencing that City of the Dead thing, or like
Yeah. Okay.
Moon Knight 25, and then they're gonna. So City of the Dead's gonna go back to the past and show you one of their adventures.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Yes, that's right. So we'll see
yeah,
Plesko. Yeah.
that's so we can get Layla in.
Yes.
That's how to retcon Layla into his past.
Yeah.
And yeah, and it said Dr. Plesko. Well, it said Plesko, so yeah.
Plesko
And
is.
Frenchie though, we get Frenchie.
Yeah.
So,
Like
how long have we been waiting?
I mean, again, like no.
Okay, Mario's answering, but we can. So yes, first of all,
Okay.
yeah.
Karnak Cowboys.
Mario says.
Yep. Sorry, Rebecca.
No, you do it.
So Murray, the Karnak Cowboys was Mark's old Merc unit, apparently. Okay, awesome. Thank you, Murray. I always know that you're on the ball. And Phil, Drop King Phil. I love Jed bringing back all of these characters we haven't seen in a while. The new enforcers, yes.
I know. He's doing his best to like just restore all this. Like,
Yeah.
go back, read your old Marvel. It was good. It was fun. It stuck with us.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun just diving into the Marvel fandom website after reading Jed's issues and just finding out about these characters. It's really good. Thank you, Phil, for dropping that in. And Mario, as always, thank you for your awesome feedback. Yeah. So, Rebecca, I think that pretty much kind of wraps this issue. Yeah, looking forward to next issue. Are we?
I mean, and I'm sorry, everyone in advance. You're going to be sick of hearing from us in July and August.
Yeah, Rebecca, we still haven't done we haven't done the
I know
bundle
we've got
deal.
things like Punisher to deal, and
we've got to bundle them all up together because
we've got to bundle some stuff together because Moon Knight did come back briefly.
And kind of significant, right? I mean, Frank's gone crazy as well, isn't he? He's taking on everything. Okay, I haven't really been.
Like before, it was just in the last panel of an issue. In the last issue, he actually got to do stuff.
Nice.
So,
I haven't seen Moony anywhere else. But yes. Yeah, well, that pretty much wraps us. I don't know why I closed the prompt sheet because I need to have a little look. That wraps us, I guess. Please keep sending in your comments. They're fantastic. I want to hear about what you think of this Venom team.
Yeah, I want to see what everyone thinks about it.
And this thing, I mean, like Maria seems to have echoed our sentiments about the ending. Also, yeah, I mean, what did you think of like Venom as a whole? In here, and be good to get them in. So just drop your thoughts in on either Twitter, even in the comment sections over here and in YouTube, also on Facebook and Instagram. We're all there. Rebecca, any other appearances that you might be popping up in podcast wise?
I'm recording something on Sunday. DCAU. I've done. I think one of them just got put up, and we're doing Wonder Woman something.
Cool.
And it's a Wonder Woman film that we're doing on Sunday, and that's all the most recent ones, I think.
Okay.
I imagine we'll do an Iron Fist one soon because there's a newish Iron Fist comic.
Nice. And you can go check out Predator and Prey. More recently, we did a read through of the latest Ed Brisson. Not read through, sorry. We did a review of the latest Ed Brisson Predator comic. That was pretty cool. It's part 2 of The Preserve. It's awesome. Then we did a read through of Predator 2, the adaptation from Dark Horse. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, cool.
It was just a lot of fun putting on voices. I was Leona, so...
Well, of course.
Good morning. Hello, Facebook user. And I have like 4 issues to catch up on, so I'm okay with missing most of this episode. No spoilers. I'm sorry. Null. Sorry, spoilers. So just don't listen to the prior 40 minutes.
Yeah, it's Null. He said it's Null. Yeah.
Mr. Tate.
4 issues to catch up on. You have some really good stuff.
Holy moly.
Ahead. Like, you have one I scored a 10 to.
Yeah. So. And that moment that Dr. Doom came in and
and kiss Mark.
Yeah, that was so passionate. It's
It was just like they're getting married now.
yeah, it's
Yay.
one for the ages. Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Written by Bendis. Yeah,
He's coming back just to write it.
exactly. Plenty of stuff there, Noel, for sure. Next phase, Loonies. Next issue. I've got to check the phase of the moon. I've actually pre-recorded something as well. And again, it's my kick. Here we go. We've got a few. Mario, don't forget the Dracula appearance. Of course.
Oh,
look at
yeah.
that.
Well, you see,
Yep.
totally forgot.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. And Wolverine in a
highlight.
bikini. I don't know. Doctor Doom. Yes. Doctor Doom was revealed as a duck.
As Howard the
No
Duck.
spoilers. Just yeah. Or just a duck.
Just a duck.
But yes, so next episode, Loonies, I talked to the chaps over at Critical Encounters. It's a Marvel Champions podcast. Yes, I have brought my obsession over, and I've somehow shoehorned it into Moon Knight. So I got to chat with these awesome guys, Steve and Mike. Go check out Critical Encounters too. And we talk about, because he's not really in it, but we talk about if there was a Moon Knight hero pack, like what the cards would be, like how would
Okay, that's cool.
yeah. So we kind of speculate and speculate as to how Moon Knight can fit in. And there are 2 cards currently in the thousands of cards that they've released that have some tangential connection to Moon Knight. So that was fun too. We discussed that. Also as well, big thank you again to the Patroonies, Odin, Frank, Daniel, Mario, Justin, Derek, Wayne, Josh, Anthony, Russell, Michael, Drew, Matthew, Jonathan, and Dan. I would put it up on the screen, but I haven't updated it, so I'm really sorry. Can't put your names up there, but a big shout out to all of you. Please consider becoming a Patreon member, patreon.com/ITK Moon Knight. Yeah, you too can be privy to bonus episodes, behind the scenes stuff, and yeah, all that jazz. Some videos as well. Sponsors: Odin Sword for Drinking Marvel podcast, Frank Dukes from I Want to Fight It podcast, Daniel's releasing an action figure of his creation, Fringe Knight. So support Daniel at patreon.com/Fringe Knight 27, and of course Drew Toombs, the Tombs Raider himself. Catch his music on soundcloud.com/Tombs and Bandcamp, lurkmusic.bandcamp.com, I think. Also as well, Dreamland Comics, collectors.com. Go check it out and go get your stuff sorted. What are you doing? You're all over the place. And Dreamland Comics, use the code MOON, and you can also get that classic issue of Moon Knight written by Doug Mensch and Bill Sienkiewicz that will be featured in issue 25. So, yes. And finally, we are part of the collective. Rebecca has her hands all over the collective with the DCAU and Sons of the Dragon. Yeah, I started saying it, Rebecca. I couldn't stop, so I just had to, let it go.
I don't mind.
Sons of the Dragon, Immortal Iron Fist podcast, DCAU as well. But I also want to shout out Inner Demons, the Ghost Rider podcast. Miss you, Brian Biggie. Come on, lift the feet, soldier. Finally, also as well, I can put this up on. Got it right. You can email us, please do. It's getting a bit dusty in the inbox there. Feedback, because most of the comments admittedly come through social media. But email, still old fashioned. Feedback at itkmoonnight.com. We've got a website, itkmoonnight.com. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, and Discord as well. Rebecca, can we customize a Discord address? Like, I don't know if that's possible.
We can put the invite in, maybe.
We'll put the invite. So just go to ZQP2/27364. and easy to remember. Rebecca, it's always been a pleasure. It's always great.
Yeah, no, it's been good. It's been good.
Hold on to your hats, Rebecca, because there's plenty of material coming.
So I just thought that, like, all those July ones, you might need some help with.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
I'm going to be away for most of them.
Oh, yes, of course. Oh, are we gonna get?
Away for all the, gonna be away for all the big ones.
Are
So
we gonna get some reports from the con?
you'll get, yeah, if there's anything. We don't know what's happening with the writers' strike and if it'll be joined
Oh,
by actors and directors.
okay.
So we have no idea. But I hopefully Jed will be there with,
Yes.
you know, he might be signing
Awesome.
Moon Knight 25. So
Oh, you're gonna have to
we'll
you have
see.
to
Yeah.
wear some paraphernalia with ITK on it or something.
I'll just say
Yeah,
hi.
that too as well.
I could,
Yeah.
but I'll take a look at what shirts you have on offer.
Yeah, I'll send one over. I'll tell you. Loonies, thank you once again for listening. Be safe. I don't know why I say that. Anyway, force a habit. And as always, may God you watch over the denizens of the night. Catch you later.
Bye.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.